after hearing about, experiencing, and reading some reports of what happened here today in the nation's capital to some of the finest servants that this institution has ever seen by some of these teabagger protesters who have been out today. It's one thing to have disagreements on policy. It's one thing to have disagreements on political philosophy and how that is implemented, and the role, either more or less, of government and what the government role and responsibility may be. But today, we had several members of Congress, as they were walking from this chamber back to their office, get spit upon, get called derogatory racial remarks, derogatory remarks about a member of Congress's sexual orientation. That is unacceptable.
This is a tough game. You can't be intimidated. You can't be frightened. As far as I'm concerned, the Tea Party can go straight to hell.
So now all the Republicans have to do is say yes. Unfortunately, the Republicans who used to run the Congress on the two Republican caucuses are being driven by the radical right wing that is so in tune with the Tea Party. They want their leaders to ignore the American people as they're doing. They want their leaders to ignore the business leaders like the Chamber of Commerce that they're ignoring. And even a majority of Republicans around this country want something to happen, and they're refusing to do that. They'd rather cut Social Security benefits than end taxpayer-funded giveaways for these billionaires and millionaires who have their corporate jets. We should not let these extremists dictate the outcome of this debate or the direction of our country. The time for ideological extremism should end. Now is the time for cooperation and consensus building, and that's what legislation is all about, the art of compromise, and they've got to break away from those extremists that seem to be running the Republican Party here in Washington.
While we discuss our very real concerns, let us all remember who the real enemy is. And the real enemy is the Tea Party. The Tea Party told Congress, there is no compromising with them. They have one goal in mind, and that's to make President Obama a one-term president.
The Tea Party is stopping that change, and this is beyond symbolic change. This is the effort that we're seeing of Jim Crow. Some of these folks in Congress right now would love to see us as second-class citizens. Some of them in Congress right now with this Tea Party movement would love to see you and me, I'm sorry, Cameron, hanging on a tree. Some of them right now in Congress are comfortable with where we were 50 and 60 years ago, but it's a new day with a black president and a congressional black caucus willing to help conservative leaders.
When anybody preaches disunity, tries to pit one of us against the other through class warfare, race hatred, or religious intolerance, you know that person seeks to rob us of our freedom and destroy our very lives. And we know what to do about it.
And now, gentlemen, no violence, please. Don't throw those bottles. Don't throw those bottles. No! Oh, no! No! Hey! Oh, hey!
Working together to produce an ever greater abundance of material and spiritual values for all. That is the secret of American prosperity.